We're going to continue to look at structure of our Thurston Ave apartments. We are going to look at foundations today on page S101. And remember, S is for structural drawings. And these are the foundation plans for all 4 buildings. I'm going to run over here to foundation plan for building C. And just to the right of that, there's a whole bunch of words. And these words explain to the contractor how to go about excavating and backfilling. Excavating means we're digging holes. Backfilling means we're filling in around the building. So first, clear and grub. That means we're going to cut down any trees or any other bushes, shrubs, any vegetation that's there. We're going to clear that out. Grubbing means we're getting rid of all of the roots and other things that are in the ground that are organic. We want to get rid of all that because setting a building on top of something organic, eventually that'll rot and the building will sink. Next, rough grade. That means basically kick around some dirt, dig a hole, get it close. This tells us to take our buildings and go -1 foot, and we'll look at this a little further in a cross section, but we're going to over dig our buildings. Next, we're going to excavate for footings and grade beams. We're going to look at what a grade beam is today in a section. Next, we're going to install our piles. Remember, those were the great big wooden telephone poles we're digging into the ground to give additional support for our structure. We're then going to backfill and get it close to grade. We're going to place all our structural fill. Structural fill is material that does not have organic material in it that's 3 inches in size or less. It could be dirty, it could be gravelly. As long as it's 3 inches in diameter or less, it's okay. And that's based off specifications in the specification manual for the project. Place floor slabs. It means we've graded for all of that and we've put in our floors. Next, we're going to create the first deck, which is the first floor of the building, not the ground floor, but the first floor. Then they're going to backfill the foundation. So we're going to go to page S501 again, which is structural drawings. We're going to look at sections 3 and sections 9. So here we are. We've moved over to drawing S501, which is our foundation details. We're going to start by looking at section 3, which is our south wall foundation. And you can see this is for building C, the building we were looking at. The construction sequence suggested that we dig out for our grade beams and footers first. So this earth, and remember we're looking at this at the end, the earth would have been dug to here. Then we drive our piles. Then we form up our grade beam. This grade beam is 2 feet square, so we're looking at the end. This is the end of the grade beam. We've cut through the building. The grade beam has to be 2 feet by 2 feet, so this makes a perfect square. It has to have 4 number 5s, top and bottom. Now remember, that's a rebar spec, number 5s, based on 1/8 of an inch, so it'd be 5/8 of an inch rebar. Top and bottom, that's the T and B, so there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll see this better on another section in a second. And then our number 4 rebar, which is 1/2 inch diameter, 12 inches along the length of that grade beam. So you see one here, and then the next stirrup would be 12 inches away. It would either come at us or away from us because we're looking at the end. If we go over here to section 9, we can see this a little clearer. We can see this one's a little different because this has more rebar in it, but in the previous example we had 1, 2, 3, and 4. As you can see, there are actually 2 here. They're shown 2, but it's still giving us the same note. So this would be something you'd contact an engineer about and ask, are we going with 4 or are we going with what you're showing here, which is 6? In addition to that, you see 2 more here, and again, that would be a great conversation to have with the engineer to make sure that as you're doing a project like this, we put the right amount of rebar in this grade beam so that we meet the specification for how much that has to hold. If I come back over here, we can see that after that, our foundation continues up through, and that's going to be in next video.